I mean, I was told by my film professor, there are films and there are movies. And sometimes you've got to know what you're walking into.
Yeah. See, but I come from a time when movies were films.
When I first started this podcast, my goal, I guess, was to talk about good movies. I love movies. I love film. I love cinema. It's had this great impact on my life. And for an art form being so young, just how masterful it is, it's actually very, very impressive. And when I first started the show, I thought I was going to talk about good movies, great films that are really, really good. I watched Past Lives last night, easy 5 out of 5. I watched Trapped from the Matt Shyamalan the other night as well, easy 9 out of 10. I thought I was going to have a chance to talk about good movies, and of course, we don't all get what we want. The McRib still sucks, and also a lot of other bad things are happening right now in the world. So, yeah, as you can tell by the title, we're talking about this random little movie here called Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. The Super Bowl is on its way. It's coming very, very closely, and most likely, as history has shown us, when the Super Bowl comes around, Marvel is very close by with a new trailer for the new movie. We have a new Fantastic Four movie coming out, so I thought, why not dive into every single Fantastic Four movie? There's only 3 of them that I know of, so I thought, let's just do it. Let's just dive into it. Why the hell not? And now I haven't seen this movie in a pretty long time. I haven't seen Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer in a very long time, and I know that it's regarded as one of the worst superhero films ever made, which, I mean, yeah, sure, that's probably true. And I thought I could be someone who is a defender of the movie. I think that I could really be the guy who says Fantastic Four is actually a very good movie. You just don't get it. You're in the wrong, not the movie. And unfortunately, that isn't the case. I rewatched it, and before I go into my score and just an in-depth analysis, this movie sucks. It's actually very trash. It's actually really terrible. And after watching the first movie, I thought to myself, there's no way they can go lower, right? There's no way they can get worse from here. I mean, you're getting a little bit more time to work on the movie, you're getting better CGI a little bit. You can definitely do a little bit better with the second movie, but the answer is no. It actually is still very bad. It's actually very terrible. It's kind of hard to go through sometimes by just how unbearable it is. It hasn't happened in a while for me, but this film truly is a pain to watch. And before I dive into the meat and potatoes of it all, I'll just go through some random little context and just details around the movie. The film released in 2007. That's just 2 years after the first one came out. And 2007 is a pretty cool year for films. We have Ratatouille, No Country for Old Men, Zodiac, Superbad, Juno, a lot of great movies. Looking at the more comic book space, though, we have Spider-Man 3. That was a very big film this year. Also, it's '07, so there's not a lot of comic book films at this time. This is pre-Iron Man 1, and MCU stuff and DC stuff is still pretty dead like it is right now. So this is kind of a weird year for film. We have Rush Hour 3, pretty bad, and then in the midst of everything, we have this little movie called Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, which was definitely not at all good. Like with the first movie, I can say that these characters do have a place in my heart. These movies are still special to me, but it's not enough to where I can defend it. I do have some fun here. This is definitely a very fun movie, but still, I cannot defend this movie for the life of me, and I really don't want to. Looking at the box office for the movie, the film had a budget of $130 million, and it raked in $301.9 million, so definitely is doing decent, I guess, in the box office-wise. I think that they would rather have more money come in. When looking at a budget of $130 million, yes, this film did make money, but what we usually need to do here is calculate what the budget is, which is $130 million, and then take that budget, then multiply it by 2.5. This will kind of give us what we want. It's a general rule of thumb. It's not perfect, but it gives us kind of a perspective of what we need. So the film has a budget of $130 million. It needs to make at least like $325 million to be considered a success in the box office wise. Things may have been different in '07, but still, this movie should have made more money. They were definitely expecting it to make more going into a sequel. Just looking at a movie that came out this same exact year, just to give some context of what they may have wanted. Looking at Spider-Man 3, yes, it is the third entry into a overarching trilogy with, at this point, it's had a lot of hype going into it, but still, Spider-Man 3 made $891.6 million, which is definitely a very big success. The movie critically wasn't received the best either from fans or critics. It definitely has a lot going on with it, but still, I think that they wanted to have kind of that Spider-Man money a little bit. It's under the same Marvel brand. Why aren't we getting the same pull from audience? Well, there's a few different reasons. I mean, just looking at here, when we go into the critic side of things, this movie did not do good on that front either. This film has a 37% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, then a 51% audience score. Both halves of the coin here just don't like the movie. It's just not good, frankly, unfortunately. Then going to some reviews here, Roger Ebert is one of the greats of all time. Usually here I have a review from him, but he didn't write anything for this movie, unfortunately. So going into Letterboxd, this film has a 2.3 out of 5 average. Then we have one review here from Alec, who gave the film a 2.5 out of 5. Then in his review here for Alec, I chose this one because he definitely gets what I'm trying to get my point across here. He said that Silver Surfer is hot, but this movie makes no sense at all. Now, I know what you're going to say. He said Silver Surfer is hot. Listen, he's out of line for that line, but he is right that the movie just makes no sense at all. On the front of, I guess, the context of the movie, the way it's structured, how you're doing the film, it just doesn't make any sense to have this movie be here in the second installment and just not be as good as it can be. It's very disappointing. I'll make sure I leave Alex's review down there below in the show notes, but still, my thoughts still say the same. This movie definitely has some place in my heart for me, for sure. I think that the movie is definitely one that I'll remember for a while for the characters, what it's doing for me. I watched this film a lot growing up on FX as well, along with those X-Men movies. The X-Men movies are definitely not very good, but still, it has a place in my heart for me. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine didn't have the best run in the world until like Logan and Wolverine, but still, besides that, I do have a love for it. I have a love for all these films, and I definitely always will, but still, am I disappointed? Yes. So just going over into it, just going into the meat and potatoes here. I don't even want to be here exactly. I have stuff to do today that I really want to get done. So I'm just going to kind of get through this quick little chore and then just go on with my day. The movie is bad, like I say. But let's just go into exactly what happened and why it just doesn't deliver for most fans and definitely me. First things first, the blue logo is fun. Like I said in the first movie, the blue logo is very fun. That's one of the only redeeming qualities here is the blue logo. That says a lot already, but going into it, that's what it is. The opening of the movie is with Silver Surfer. That's super fun and cool. I love this character as well. Silver Surfer, he's a super cool character. I love that his whole job is to track down planets that are going to be decimated and lifeless because of him and his actions. Yes, it is Galactus, but still, he plays a very crucial role in that. That's just, I think, very, very cool, very sad story. And I love that he's in this movie. They could have done better with him. Hopefully in the MCU he'll be better, but for now, this is all we got, unfortunately. So the opening's very cool. Then going into the, fun main team for here, they're really whack. I think that this whole crew is starting to get whack now. I understand the first movie, they're, just starting up, but in the sequel, it's just corny. It's just a cornball mess. It's just some very, very trash. Just like how in Roger Ebert, in his review for the first movie, he said that this film should be ashamed to be in the same theater as Spider-Man and Superman and Batman Begins. I mean, that's such a great movie, yet they're putting out this piece of garbage. It's just very sad and disappointing. I'm not a fan of any of it, unfortunately. But just going into the opening here for the Fantastic Four, why are they flying on a public plane? Aren't they like rich or something? They can, make these very cool suits and just have all this crazy, super cool funding, but yet they're flying on a public plane? Doesn't make sense at all. Also, the Thing in this movie is starting to not work for me. The Thing in the first movie, I guess, kind of made sense, but in the sequel, the Thing is just, it's not working with the suit anymore. I understand that with this time, CGI isn't at its peak yet. We have some very cool characters like Gollum and stuff, but still, it may have been a better route to just do the full CGI thing. It may not have looked the best, but still, the way that the Thing is moving and the way he's talking and walking around, it's just like not cool anymore. It looks very weird. I'm not really a big fan of it, unfortunately. I like how, and that's a very bad movie, but still, been forced that we're going to go into the next Fantastic Four movie, do the actual full CGI Thing. He looks great in that movie. Actually, incredible CGI for the Thing. That should have been adapted here. I know it's very early on in the century, but still, should have happened. And then also, I like how Reed and Sue, they're getting married in this movie. I like how big the wedding is for Reed and Sue Storm. That, gives me, this world's alive. It makes it feel like it's a comic book. I love how it feels like they're celebrities, which they are, but it makes the world, like I said, feel more alive and involved with the characters. In some other movies, it kind of feels like how the characters are kind of like there. Then the world for the superhero movies are kind of just like a backdrop for them. The people in these worlds aren't really at any point feel like alive in any way. And that's what I like about them most with the Spider-Man movies. We get kind of the boots on the ground feel for the, civilians of the world. Then here, that's kind of what we have as well, but it's not definitely on like a much grander scale. It makes sense. It's super cool and fun. I actually really like it a lot. It's a pretty small little detail, but still should be adapted into more superhero media. I know the film still sucks as a whole, but still, this one little detail, having the world feel more alive and involved with everything, is fun. It's cool. It feels like it's missing as well from all of other things. So I had to give some flowers here for that one. Then I gave them its flowers on Take 'Em Right Back Away. Reed is a nerd and a dork. He is not the Reed that I really should know and love. Reed Richards, in my eyes at least, should be like a pioneer. He should be the smartest guy on Earth, smarter than anyone on Earth. Tony Stark, Bruce Banner, anyone, ever. He should be one of the smartest minds alive and truly be a flagship person for the world. Not just for the group, but for the world. He should have that just natural leadership quality to him. I get what they're going for. He's a nerd and a dork, actually kind of an idiot, but still, that's not at all how it should be for the character, at least in my eyes. I haven't read a single comic book for the Fantastic Four, but still, my vision for Reed is someone who's just very mature, very just straightforward and level-headed, and someone who really does have his shit together, not like here in the movie. He's definitely just very much of a cornball, corny, stupid, whack. I'm not a fan of him in any kind of way. He's not what he should be in my eyes. The main thing is him in the club. It's just like, why is this happening? Why is he in the club dancing around, using his powers willy-nilly? Just in my opinion, Reed Richards just wouldn't act like that. I haven't read a comic book. I haven't read any kind of comic at all for the character. But Reed Richards, in my eyes, is not that kind of guy, and he really never should be. And he is the leader of this group and of this team, and he does have a little bit of leadership stuff going on, but he still feels like just a little bit of a dork, nerdy kid who just really doesn't have any respect from anyone at all, which definitely is not what it should be for the character. I'm not a fan of any of it. Unfortunately, it's still happening here in the movie. Maybe in the future, we'll have something like this with Pedro Pascal. I hope so. I really do hope so. And then even in that little glimpse of him in the Doctor Strange movie that we had a couple years back, even in that movie, I think that he still was on screen for like 5-10 minutes, but he still gave off the like leadership role, very serious and stern like he really should be, which I love about him a lot. But still, besides Reed Richards being an absolute lame-o, going into their actual wedding scene stuff, I love that scene of the wedding because one, it gives us more of a character moment with all of them. It does give time for the film to breathe a little bit. We didn't get a lot in the first movie, so I'm so happy to see it here. And then also, I like that when they get attacked at the wedding, it kind of feels like it's a comic book there as well. I love seeing them team up and save the day at their own wedding. It's such like a comic book thing that happened that I really do think is very effective. Then going into the Silver Surfer and Johnny Storm scene, that scene's just super cool and fun. I love it a whole lot. I love the CGI as well. Silver Surfer CGI looks very, very good. I'm actually very impressed with it. Definitely very fun. Then going into what's bad, once again, is that there's no kind of team and family aspect for the entire movie. That's really the main argument for me that makes the film so bad, is that the MCU's first family barely fights alongside each other at all, or have any kind of real true chemistry at all in any point in the entire movie. I think across these two films alone by themselves, we have maybe 2 or 3 group fight scenes with the Fantastic Four. That shouldn't be a reality. It's called Fantastic Four, and they're more of the time individuals in a group of 4, ironically. That shouldn't be the movie. It's Marvel's first family, but I don't feel the family aspect of anything at all. Yeah, sure, they bicker and they fight and they disagree, but still, it never truly feels like they're actually a group together. It never feels like that. I'm not a fan of it at all. It definitely defeats the whole purpose. It's more so kind of like false advertising to a degree, which I'm not a fan of. I should sue them for that, but I'm not going to because I don't feel like paying the lawyer fees for it. And you know what I should sue him for as well is Dr. Doom while we're at it, because Dr. Doom is still whack and corny, and I hate Dr. Doom. He's not at all what he should be. And I know that in comics and media, Dr. Doom is like bigger and greater than Thanos. He's like a massive, Avenger level threat, and having him be just lame and whack and truly piss me off when he's on screen, I'm not a fan of that. It feels like they kind of just shoehorned him in here, or like no one wanted him back in the movie, but he's still back here because why not? He signed a contract, so we kind of have to. You know, when I think of Doctor Doom, I kind of get the feel of like that one coworker that you really don't like, that you still have to talk to and socialize with, even though he's really whack and corny. You don't want him there at all. He's not good at his job either. But it's just kind of like if they fire him, they'll feel kind of bad about it, and they kind of can't do that. So he's still there for whatever reason. That's the vibe I get from Doctor Doom. He's absolutely corny. He's lame. He's whack. He's stupid. No one likes you. No one wants you here. The girl doesn't like you. I don't like you. No one likes you. No one wants you here. Get out. That's how I feel about Doctor Doom. He's a cornball. He's corny. I never want to see him again, but unfortunately I will with Robert Downey Jr. I pray on my knees that they actually get it right for once, because it's been, at this point, first movie, Silver Surfer, and also Fantastic, all three have been terrible for the character. I pray they get it right for once. Another thing that I pray that they actually get right in a future installment is that I want these films to be longer. This movie is way too short for this big of a plot and a story. It is not at all what it should be for a Silver Surfer and a Galactus movie. This should be like a 2-hour, 2.5-hour movie, not like an hour and 30, hour and 45. You're missing a lot of things here. And I'm not sure why Fox followed this very just common trend of what the first movie is also. Just I feel really short and has bad pacing. Second movie, the same exact thing. And Fantastic also, I don't even want to talk about either right now. That movie is just like, oh my gosh, abysmally bad. But still, I'm not sure why with this big of a movie, this Galactus Silver Surfer level movie, it's way too short and the pacing is following things that are just absolutely unnecessary for this big of a movie and big of a plot. Kind of what it feels like is how if Infinity War came out, Infinity War is this huge and massive movie, and then in Infinity War, they do have these little kind of subplot arc things that happen, but it's never like with this movie to where it feels like if in Infinity War, Bruce Banner's like, oh my gosh, I need eggs. That's like, well, what does that have to do with the main plot of Thanos being back here? It's just very loose in its focus and what it wants to do, what it's trying to tell. Its intentions and ambitions are just all over the place wrong, and I'm not a fan of any of it at all. So pacing and runtime should be bumped up like by times 10, because it's not at all what it should be. But what should be here is Johnny Storm. He's, I think, the best written character for this movie. He's kind of like the main one in the group for this film, and I like him a lot. He actually has a very cool little arc here. I like the whole, like, switching powers thing. That was fun. And also this character has some very deep, heartful moments here. So where I really like him as Human Torch, and I really did forget just how good he was in this role. I mean, he's actually very good with Human Torch. I get it. He came over to the MCU, did a great job there with Captain America. A top 3 character for the MCU, for sure. I'd say, top 10, top 5 character for the MCU. And still, he did great there. But still, I really do miss him in this role. I understand that he's older, he kind of grew out of it, this, then, the third, but still, I'm a huge fan of him here. He's actually very good at what he does. I kind of forgot just how good Chris Evans was in this role. Really, I truly love him. But that might be the last thing on my notes that's actually a good part of the movie. And that's really it. We're going to the third act here now, so third act time, it's getting super serious. The third act here for the movie is, as you all know, it's not good. Number one, just starting out here with number one, this is just something that I had to talk about if I want this episode to be complete. Why is Galactus a fart cloud? That's one of the biggest fumbles, not only in comic books, but cinematic history. One of the biggest fumbles of just the dumbest thing you can ever do for a movie. To have one of the biggest bads in all of Marvel mythos be a fart cloud. That's one of the biggest disrespects for not even just nerds and fans like myself, but just for the audience as a whole. Having the big bad be a fart cloud is just, I mean, that really does make me want to just have a big, massive rant, but I'm not. I'm trying to control my emotions in 2025, so this is a very good test for me, but still, that gets me very mad and very upset, but I'm not going to show it. I'm going to just stay calm and stay composed here, but very stupid, very dumb. Never do that again, please. And I like how Doctor Doom is still here as the big bad, but Doctor Doom in this movie, he's just like, it's just annoying. Like, that's like the point to where I'm at with this character. Doctor Doom is just literally annoying to even watch on screen. I don't want you here. Like, that's like, you may think I'm joking. Maybe this is a bit or something. This is not a bit. I truly like hate him in this movie. This is an actual true hatred. I understand what you're gonna say, Logan. Hate, such a strong word. Don't use hate in a sentence. Hate is not even strong enough to my hate for this character. He is actually one of the most annoying people on earth to ever touch the ground. That's how bad he is in this movie. I hate Doctor Doom in this film a lot. I think that in like the 2 or 3 years at this point, whatever it's been, since I've been doing this podcast, I've never had this level of passion for anything in a movie besides this one character. That's the true amount of hate I have for him. In my heart, in my soul, I've never felt something so deep and so warm and so hot to where I have to expose it with such like angry intent. That's how bad it is with this character in this movie. It's so annoying. He takes the surfboard for Silver Surfer, and that really just, it just pisses me off. Like, why are you doing this to the point? You're one of the biggest fumbles in Marvel history, and you're acting like you're not at all, which is, I'm sorry, I'm ranting again. I know to stay calm, Logan. I get it. Okay, sorry. I got off track there for a second. I'm ranting a little bit, but still, Doctor Doom, a nerd no one likes, is very just like annoying, like I said. So calm down, Logan, relax. Then in this moment, they have a chance to save Silver Surfer and bring him to the Fart Cloud villain to destroy him and all that. And with the third act, this is where I get really mad and annoyed because, like I said before, my previous little mention there, this is a Fantastic Four movie, yet they don't even fight together in their own third act. That doesn't make sense to me at all. And I think the thing that makes me most upset is that when they have the one chance, the one moment in the entire duology here to really have a true Fantastic Four awesome team up moment, they didn't do it. And early in the movie, they do have that quick little bridge saving scene, which is like a 5-minute sequence. It was definitely a very short little thing there, but still, this is like their big moment for the Fantastic Four to be the Fantastic Four, yet they're not. It feels like at this point, they are actually doing everything in their power to not have a Fantastic Four on-screen fight scene. For what reason, I'm just not sure at all. It doesn't make any sense to me. And still, with the third act, I do like how they make Johnny just take all the powers, have a true Fantastic Four be in one character. That is cool for the character and for the arc of the movie, and truly have him, finish out everything. But still, I don't like that. I don't like how they have a moment to really show off this group in this four, fight their biggest villain at his biggest point in this entire franchise moment, and yet they don't. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's just corny and whack and doesn't make sense. It's just, no, I'm not a fan of it. It's stupid. It's dumb. Shouldn't have happened this way, but it did, so I can't do anything about it. And another very big thing is that Sue Storm dies. She actually does die, which is definitely very weird, but she dies in the movie, then it's a fake out death. That's one of the biggest things I actually hate about a movie as well. A fake out death should never happen in a movie. In most times, it doesn't work at all, and most times it's very stupid. It has worked in moments, like I can't even think of any right now, but still, a fake out death has worked in the past for sure. You can definitely bring one up to me, like, okay, yeah, sure, that definitely worked in that movie. But here, no, it makes no sense at all. At this point, these characters haven't really had any kind of development, except for Johnny Storm and a couple others. But still, the development character-wise hasn't really been there. To have this moment, this can either, one, if you don't do the death scene, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But if you do a death scene for Sue Storm, this can truly make a very big impact for these characters and just their growth and their development to where I kind of wanted it to happen. That could have been a very cool thing to happen, to see them go through a struggle and a pain, to have them persevere through it as well, could have been the big moment for this trilogy or this duology of movies, yet they don't do it, which is definitely kind of where I can kind of close this episode out. This whole, these two movies here are very cute and fun. Like I said before, there's a place in my heart for them. I do truly love and enjoy them, but still, it's not what it needs to be. And I don't think it ever really will be something I can really defend. Like with The Amazing Spider-Man, I'll admit The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 aren't the best films for Spider-Man or superheroes in general or movies in general. Those first two Amazing Spider-Man movies, Andrew Garfield, aren't the best. But still, I'll still be here to defend them because I truly do love them. I can't say the same for this movie. Fantastic Four sucks, but it is what it is. The film may be bad, but what did I learn from it? I guess that my main overall message I learned from the movie was that you don't need to be what people want you to be. That's definitely a very controversial one, I guess, for some people. But for Human Torch or Silver Surfer, they definitely had that kind of go on in the movie. And also, the movie itself is not what fans want it to be. So, hey, it all bounces back together. My overall score for the film is an F right now. That may go up or down. It's like an F right now. It's not an F plus, not an F minus. Right now, it's just an F. It's right there in the middle, but still, this is terrible. This is a bad, bad movie. I understand that oh my gosh, Fantastic, I haven't seen it in a while. I pray on my knees. I pray that Fantastic is a good movie. I haven't seen it in a while. I remember when I first saw Fantastic in movies with Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan, I thought to myself, Fantastic is a great movie. This is a great, great movie. I was like the 5 people that thought that Fantastic was a great movie. But, we'll see. When I watch it later tonight or tomorrow, whenever I decide to put with that pain and tragedy, I'll see then. But until then, we're not done quite yet. I still have our Buzz in the Backlot and MVP. Then we'll be finished. But, if you want to leave, you can leave. I understand. This film's really bad and terrible. But, it is what it is, man. Can't do anything about it. It's in the past, so we'll have to move on from it. But we're not done quite yet. It's superlative time and also Buzz in the Backlot. So what is that exactly? Film fun facts and MVP. I'm still trying to adjust exactly what other awards I can do, if any, for that matter. But, for now, let's go right into it. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. If you want to leave, you can leave, but you might want to stay because we're going to get a little bit more fun in a very bad movie. So I'm going to try to make the best of it. We'll see what happens. Just going into film fun facts here, I have 3 very quick little film fun facts for the, Buzz from the Backlot. Number 1, Jessica Alba wore a blonde wig because her hair had suffered from all the bleaching in Fantastic Four 2005. Why is that a fun fact, Logan? The movie sucks. I don't even care at this point. I'm trying to get over with it. I don't even care. Number 2 for fun facts is that the forest scenes were shot in the same forest as was used in the first 3 X-Men movies. I like that a lot. And my question is, should the X-Men have been in this movie? Should they have had some overarching universe? I say yeah. And they definitely intended for this movie to go into a 3rd overarching trilogy kind of thing. And that definitely won't happen because of just, box office and critic stuff. That just didn't happen. But, they definitely, I think, may have had some kind of plan for just, Hugh Jackman just pops up out of nowhere in that, very weird black leather suit that we all hate. He could just, shown up in that or a white tank top with some ripped jeans and a leather jacket. That was in the pipeline, I think, for sure. That could have been a whole lot of fun. But, we'll never see it. So, no, we'll see it in Secret Wars. Definitely. Never mind. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Hopefully. But, we'll see. I'm not even the biggest fan of this one, so I might be all Fantastic Four out by the end of this, but who knows. And for our 3rd and final fun fact here is that the plans for a 3rd installment as well as a Silver Surfer solo film were discarded after the film flopped at the box office. And like I said before, very apparent, it definitely won't happen ever again. That's the end of this duology here. It's going to be very sad to kind of think upon this one. It is a place in my heart, like I said before, but still nothing at all that I can actually truly defend with all my heart. I can defend Spider-Man. I can defend, The Dark Knight Rises if I really want to. I can defend The Dark Knight 3. But, for this one, no, I don't even want to at all. That would be I would need to be paid a billion gajillion dollars to actually defend this film legitimately. I don't even know if I can. But, that's it. That's all I got to say. Then for the MVP, it goes to Chris Evans. Hey, he's the GOAT here. He deserved it. He is the best part in these movies. Definitely the most redeeming quality here. Like I said before, we did get him in Deadpool and Wolverine. That was super fun and cool. But, I wish that he would come back as, this character. Maybe in Secret Wars or Doomsday, we'll have Steve Rogers and we'll have Human Torch be on screen together at the same time. That would be so fun and so cool. But, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with it? I don't know. I'm not quite sure. But that'll do it for today. We're all done. I'm all Fantastic Four'd out for a pretty long time until next week with the Fantastic. The Chiefs win the Super Bowl. It's Chiefs and Eagles. I want to cry because my Lions got whooped at home, and also the Bills lost again for 4 years. They lost to the Chiefs. That's crazy. Just how, why? Wow, that's insane to think of. it makes me want to cry as well. Josh Allen is a great quarterback, but not good enough, unfortunately, I guess. There's some very cool stuff coming out and just happening right now. Number one, the new Spider-Man show is actually very, very cool. I recommend it. It's still going on right now, but we'll see just how good it is as it goes on and continues. Invincible comes out next week, which is crazy. I didn't even know. Like, Invincible comes out soon, which is insane to think of, but still, I'll be here for that as well. I'll also be here for Oscars. I didn't do my, what I wanted to do with, going through every single nomination because, frankly, I haven't seen a lot of films last year. For the 2024 movies, I didn't see a lot of at all. I haven't seen The Brutalist. I haven't seen Emilia Perez. I haven't seen Complete Unknown. Those are the 3 top nominated movies. So to not see those 3, what's the point of even doing that episode? There's no point at all. So I decided to scrap it as a whole. But I'll be going into some of those films individually as we go into the Academy Awards. And, that should be fun. I want to see The Brutalist, but, 3.5 hours long. So we'll see how that goes. But until then, until next time, stay swagged out, stay cool, watch more films, watch Spider-Man as well. And until then, I'm Real Slogan. I'll see you boys in the movies.
Shine that light on me. I'll sit and tell you my story.